If you were wondering how many legendary mains you were expected to get during the Suicune event or any legendary event, we now have the final drop rates from community research. Thank you to everyone who submitted their data to help make this possible. Welcome back to another Pokemon Sleep video, it's Bro Vinny here. There are two parts to this video. The first part, we're going to go through all of the final drop rates of community mains from the Suicune event, and we'll look at how these rates changed over time throughout the 3 legendary events we've had so far. In the second part of this video, we're going to be doing something a bit more fun. We'll be ranking the people who submitted their data to see who got the most and least mains, and who submitted the most and least accurate data during this event. Before we get started, there are 2 people I must give credit to. One is /Burner, who helped me compile all of the data. The second person is Banana Tanks for helping us make this graphic to give you nice whole round numbers to look at, but I will show you the exact rates in my spreadsheet in a moment. Just a recap on how to look at this table over here. This is the closeness level of your friends. So we're talking about the research community mains that you get from your 50 friends that you add in this game. Every day your friend does a research session, you will get 1 point added to the closeness level. It takes 20 points to raise 1 closeness level. So in other words, it takes 100 days for a new friend to reach closeness 5. The higher the closeness level of your friend, the greater the chance of them sending you a batch of mains. If they are closeness 5, each day there's a 30% chance that they will send you 2 mains. If they're at closeness 4, there's a 30% chance that each day they'll send you 1 main. In other words, if you have 50 friends that are all closeness 5, you are expected to get 30 mains per day, or if they're all at closeness 4, you're expected to get 15 mains per day. And the numbers get lesser and lesser towards the lower closeness levels, although as you can see, the biggest jump is between closeness 4 and 5. So it's very important that you maintain your friends at closeness 5 level. But of course, besides the legendary event, you also get more candies from your friends if you have higher closeness level. For candies, it is also a big jump between closeness 4 to closeness 5 based on research I did much earlier on. The good news about this spread is that if you're a new player, you're not missing out on a lot of mains between closeness 0 to 4 as you make your way to closeness 5 with your friends. You're still expected to get about 6 mains per day even if you're brand new to the game and you just added 50 friends. This was not the case for the other legendary events, especially back in the Raikou event. Back in the Raikou event, we had almost as little as 1 or 2 mains a day unless you've got friends at closest 3 onwards. And this was a horrible experience for brand new players. They were not really getting any mains at all from their community research. So they were mainly relying on either spending on the game or getting them from missions and sleep research. Thankfully, this was corrected by the time Entei event came along, the second legendary event, and you can see that there was an increase in mains for the lower closeness levels. But unfortunately, what wasn't good was that at closeness 5, we actually had less mains compared to the Raikou event, which was the first legendary event. We were expected to get about 32 mains a day during the Raikou event, but that kind of got nerfed to 27 mains a day. Of course, I must stress that the data we collected for the Raikou event had a lot less data points, so it was less accurate, so maybe it wasn't a huge difference anyway. I am happy to report that between the second and the third legendary events, from Entei to Suicune events, we overall had more mains from the community research. If you just remember this column of numbers, 5, 5, 10, 10, 10, and 27, you can see an overall increase for the Suicune event, which went up to 6, 8, 12, 12, 15, and 30. So that's good news all round because that meant more mains for everyone. If you're after the raw numbers, here they are, as well as the sample size. For the Suicune event, these were the drop rates. As you can see, they weren't quite exactly what the Banana Tank's graphic showed. The graphic simply gave us a nicer representation of these numbers. And here is a graphical representation of those numbers. This is the rate of mains being sent, and this is the total mains being sent for each closeness level. And once again, you can see a bit of a jump between Closeness 4 and 5. One interesting thing to note is that if we included every single report that were submitted for the data analysis, we would overall get less mains. And that's because in the first day of the event, most people had noticed that they weren't really getting any mains from their community research. Certainly not quite as much as from the second day onwards. It wasn't impossible, it just seemed like there were issues with border cases at the start of the event. Unfortunately, this actually doesn't work out very well for us because you would only get about 13 days of mains from community research, so we don't really. And that's because when you open your envelopes from your community research on the Monday straight after the event, you can't actually get any mains. And I verified that myself. So not only are we losing out mains on the first day of the event due to border case problems, we are also not getting an additional day to make up for that difference, limiting our mains to about 13 days. Now, I don't have numbers to show for this. This is purely from personal experience. But what I can tell you is that if we had received mains from 50 friends every day for 14 days, because it's a 2-week event, we would have expected 700 reports. Unfortunately, even amongst our best submitters, Ace Slider and Mellows and Catasium and Guidola and Dinosachi, none of them had made that 700 mark. And we're talking about some avid gamers here. Not a single person had achieved that 700 mark. Now, I wasn't actually expecting 700 because there are many issues along the way that would reduce that number as well. Even from a day-to-day perspective, we may not actually get 50 reports from our friends because your friends may not be doing their sleep research at the same time every day. And if there is a day where they decided to delay the research and you haven't got the sleep report from them yet, but then another day they decide to do it super early, where you've already collected that one envelope from them, you may not be getting an extra envelope. So I suspect there may be cases where the number of reports we get are reduced. But even then, the most number of reports we got was 639 envelopes over the 2-week event. So my hunch is that we are losing about 1 day worth of mains due to the border case issues at the start of the event. If you're interested in these raw numbers, let me know in my Discord. I'm more than happy to make a copy of the results. It's not currently available for public viewing, which now leads me to the next part of this video, the more fun part of this video. We are ranking the data submitters based on how many reports they sent through and how accurate their reports were. The person who sent the most number of data through is Mellows, so a big shout out to Mellows for submitting 639 envelopes for this research. Unfortunately, Mellows did not have 100% accuracy in this submission. The person with the most reports and yet still had 100% accuracy was Ace Slider, so another big shout out, 634 reports and 634 were accurate, making 100% accuracy. So when I say accuracy, I mean the data had no errors in the submission, which makes the data good. Now, wherever there is inaccurate data, we do omit those, so don't worry, they're not incorporated into our analysis. Regardless, in equal second place are Ace Slider and Catasium, each submitting 634 envelopes, with Dollar following in third spot with Dinosachi. Next, let's take a look and see who actually got the most mains overall from this event. And in number 1 place is actually Ace Slider, despite not having the most reports, and that's partly because Mellows has less Closeness 5 friends. And a lot of Mellows mains were actually from Closeness 2 friends as opposed to Closeness 5. And Ace Slider had most of the mains from their Closeness 5 friends. I was actually surprised by myself though. Bro Vinny here with second place in the number of mains earned despite reporting a lot less reports compared to Ace Slider. I mean, I got 343 mains when Ace Slider only got 349, yet I had 100 less reports. And in third place for the most number of mains received from community research was Maritwori. And at equal 4th place are Chardizzle and Condamore. And there are 9 people I need to have a talk to because these people submitted 0% accuracy reports. If you don't know how to use the form, let's talk about it. We'll prepare you for the next event. I still appreciate you guys for actually trying and submitting. I thought the form was fairly self-explanatory, but maybe there's a confusion somewhere and I would like to know what went wrong. So if your Dewdrop, Silver Garnet, Sausages, Hargraves, Mythical Phoenix Heart, KP Natsukun, Party Prash 3 and Bisto 5717, come speak to me in my Discord or in the comments section below. Thank you for watching guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.